You know that feeling, right? If you're learning English, you get to a point where you feel like you've just hit a wall. Well, in this explainer, we're going to break right through it. I'm going to give you 3 high-impact grammar tools that will immediately make your English sound way more sophisticated and precise. Let's dive in. So, does this sound familiar? You've learned the tenses, your vocabulary is pretty good, but you just feel stuck. It's what we call the intermediate plateau. And honestly, it's a super common frustration. You can communicate just fine, but you don't really feel like you're getting any better. Well, today we are going to fix that. This is where we move beyond the basics. We're going to add 3 really powerful structures to your grammar toolkit. And trust me, mastering these is an absolute game changer for sounding like a pro. All right, first up, we've got a tool you've probably heard of, but you might not be using it, strategically. It's the passive voice. And this isn't just some boring grammar rule. It's a powerful way to control the focus of your sentences. Just look at this. See how that tiny change completely flips the focus? In the active voice, someone stole my bike. The focus is all on the thief, on the someone. But in the passive, my bike was stolen. Suddenly, the star of the sentence is the bike. The action becomes the most important detail, not who did it.
So to put it simply, with the passive voice, the subject is just kind of sitting there, having something done to it. The person or thing doing the action, the actor, can be mentioned with the word by, but a lot of the time, they're just left out completely. And that's really the secret to its power.
So the big question is, when do you actually use this thing? You're not just flipping sentences around for fun, right? Well, you use the passive voice when the actor is unknown. Like in our example, my bike was stolen. It's also used to sound more formal or polite. Think of a sign that says, talking is not permitted. And maybe most famously, it's used to avoid taking responsibility. And here it is, the absolute classic line used by politicians and CEOs everywhere. Mistakes were made. Who made them? Shrug. We have no idea. The sentence masterfully acknowledges that a problem exists without pointing any fingers. That right there is the strategic power of the passive voice. Okay, so we've got how to shift focus away from the person doing the action. But what about when you want to talk about causing an action to happen? Well, that brings us to tool number 2, causative verbs. Okay, think of this as your cheat sheet. You gotta notice the subtle differences here. Make implies force. Let means you permit or allow something. Have is what you use when you ask or pay someone to do something. And get implies you had to convince them a little bit. And hey, pay super close attention to the structure here. See how only get uses to before that second verb? That's a classic trip up. I mean, this is a perfect example from real life, right? You can just tell the person speaking didn't volunteer for this job. They were caused to do it. The wife didn't take out the garbage herself, but she was in control of the situation. This is the whole point of a causative verb. The subject causes the action to happen, even if they don't actually do it themselves. Now, here's a really cool trick you can do with the word have. You can say, I had my brother paint my house, which focuses on the person you asked. Or you can say, I had my house painted, which shifts the focus to the result. It's kind of like the passive voice, isn't it? Who did the painting isn't important anymore. The important thing is that my house is now painted. All right, time for our final tool. Now, this one's a little more advanced, I'll admit, but it is an absolute secret weapon for sounding incredibly formal and correct. It's called the subjunctive mood, and we use it for things like suggestions, demands, or hypothetical situations. So what do you think? Let's put this to the test. Which one is correct here? I'm telling you, so many advanced learners get tripped up on this very thing. It feels like she goes should be right, but it's a trap. Okay, here's the trick. The easiest way to get this right every single time is what I call the hidden should rule. Whenever you see a verb like recommend, insist, or demand, just imagine the word should is hiding inside it. The doctor is really saying she should go to bed. And what always follows should? The simple base verb with no S on the end, always. So, drum roll, please. And there you have it. The correct answer is A. The doctor recommends that she go to bed early. I know, it might sound a little weird to your ear at first, but once you get the hang of it, your English will have this new level of formality and precision that really sets you apart.
And just like that, you've added 3 incredibly powerful tools to your advanced grammar toolkit. Let's do a quick recap of what they are and why they are so important.
So, think about it. You've got the passive voice for strategically shifting focus. You've got causative verbs to talk about delegating and influencing. And you've got the subjunctive mood to make sure your formal requests and suggestions sound absolutely perfect and polished.
So, here's your challenge. I want you to just start listening for these. You're going to hear the passive voice in news reports. You'll hear causative verbs in everyday conversations, and you'll definitely see the subjunctive in formal emails. Now that you know the patterns, you'll start seeing them everywhere. The only question is, which one are you going to spot first?